Shalom, Israel. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. Tonight is the Thursday night breakdown class, scripture breakdown class. And we just gonna go ahead and jump on into it. You know, tonight I got my main man with me also, Priest and Officer Ram Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up for that brother. Damn right. And we got the sisters with us tonight. You know, so we're about to get into it. And tonight, it's going to be a heavy night because, you know, we just phased out of one pagan holiday just to go into another one. And this one, if not, is one of the most horrible, horrific holidays that's getting ready to come up. You know what I'm saying? Which is Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? That holiday that you feel like family supposed to get around. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion. Get around and break that ham open, bust that ham open, and them yams and all of that, and that fellowshipping that you're doing, not knowing what's the spirit that's behind that. You know what I'm saying? And if you ask me, you know, like they teach us in school when we was back in school before we came out of the world, you know what I'm saying? You know, they made it seem like, you know, that the Pilgrims came off of the Mayflower and just broke bread, and they sat at this table, and the Indians came up and they all just broke bread. The North American Indians, the tribe of Gad, all came together and was feasting and all of those things, when really that never happened. You know what I'm saying? It was a straight, total onslaught. It was a massive genocide. You know what I'm saying? And you got to ask yourself, who did the white man ever break bread with? Just give me one nation that this man broke bread with. I'm talking about during his time of conquering. You know what I'm saying? Did he break bread with Africa? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Did he break bread with China? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Who did he break bread with? So where did this story come from? That's just that mass hypnosis that they put on you, that spell that you under, you know, that brainwashing. You know what I'm saying? They get you early with that in school, how you thinking that it was something, a joyous occasion, and now, without you going to seek knowledge and wisdom and understanding, you just roll with it. So every year on this day, because the white man told you to celebrate it, you celebrate it. You get your families, y'all join together, and y'all sit around the table, and that's the excuse you make for it today. So when you hear it, and the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, tells you the truth, the first thing you want to say is, well, it's a family thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't celebrating it because of that. It's just a family. You know, I just had a family around, and we just eat. But if it's family, then your family, the tribe of Gad, was slaughtered at the tens of thousands for you to be sitting at that table breaking bread with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like you are if it's so much about family, you are celebrating the death of your family members. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get into it tonight, man. I got this article that me and Officer Ram gonna get into. It's called the American Indian Holocaust, known as the 500-year war, and the world's longest Holocaust in the history of mankind. You know what I'm saying? And this article, it kind of incorporates all the years from 1492 all the way to the 1800s, even now, present day. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of incorporate all the atrocities that the white man has done, or the Europeans, whatever you want to call them, the devil the Bible speaks of, whichever one has done to a people. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to get into that. But first, before we get into that, I want to give you the prophecy on it, which is Genesis, the 49th chapter, starting at verse 19. Whenever you're ready, Officer Ron.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 13.
19, sir.
Salakia, 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Just read that one more time from the top, sir.
Con, Gad.
Gad, who would be today the so-called North American Indians. Go ahead, sir.
A troop shall overcome him.
Who is that troop? Who is that? Go ahead, sis.
White man.
right? But that troop is another. You can give another name for it. Just think about it. His troop. It's him. You right about that, sis. But it's a little more on that. His troop. It's like sir. Go ahead. You got it.
The pilgrims.
The pilgrims. So almost. Oh, come on. Just think troop.
No.
Troop.
Like an army.
Go ahead, sir.
Like an army.
His army, his cavalry.
Right.
Those are the dudes on the horse. You know what I'm saying? Galloping with the swords, the Confederates, the blue coats, all of them. His troop is that, like Officer Ram said, that army, but that cavalry. Those are the ones that went out and them bayonet, them berets, and all of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that troop, which his army, his cavalry, shall overcome him, and that's what happened to the North American Indians. The moment that the white man set foot over here, you know what I'm saying? He didn't utterly destroy them, but the livelihood that they had, he wiped them completely out to the point to where he pushed them on reservations, AKA you might as well call them small concentration camps without the fences, because that's what they are. You go look at the Sioux tribe, you know what I'm saying? He trying to take the last little land that they got, the last little livelihood that they got. He trying to take it by using the land to run another pipeline through it. The Sioux tribe ain't got that much up there in North Dakota. You know what I'm saying? But that's what he trying to do right now to them. So he trying to take them for all that they have. You know what I'm saying? So they did get overcome and the water to the Most High in Christ for that last line in this scripture. They say, but he shall
overcome at the last.
Most High in Christ, and we shall, man. You know what I'm saying? If the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge got anything to say about it, we shall. You know what I'm saying? But tonight, but this holiday that's coming up is so diabolical, man. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. You know what I'm saying? If they had a day that, and it's wrong on so many levels, but even one to just throw out there, if they had a day that they celebrated slavery, every Negro in America would be, like, they tops would be blowing off right now. You know what I'm saying? If they had a day that they celebrated that they had you in chains. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, sir. Did you know that the day after Thanksgiving, they actually called that day Native American Heritage Day?
I didn't know that, but I could believe that.
It's kind of like a contradiction, though, to like, because literally you're celebrating the death of so many of them the day before, and then you want to celebrate the heritage.
It's his manipulation. He loved to manipulate. So by us not knowing what really happened, matter of fact, like Hosea 4 and 6 say, our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. For us not even going seek the truth or trying to find out what really happened or even caring, you know, I could see them putting another label for the next day, calling it what they call it again? The Native American Heritage Day. Right after the day they finished slaughtering tens of thousands of our brothers and sisters, which is the tribe of Gad, the North American Indians. You know what I'm saying? So I can truly understand the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and you already know what the word devil means. It just means deceiver. You know what I'm saying? He's the number one deceiver. So we're going to get into this article real quick. I just want to bring out the prophecy, you know what I'm saying, that Jacob was given to his son Gad and telling him what was going to befall his lineage at the time of his death. You know what I'm saying? Jacob's death, he was blessing all his children and also telling them what was going to befall his line. And I just want to bring that prophecy out to show you that the Bible is not an incorrect book. The Bible is correct on all levels. Anything you want to know about that, then that's what I love about the scriptures, man. They correlate perfectly with regular history. Everything that Jeremiah and Isaiah and Hosea and all of them was speaking on, and Ezekiel and all of them was speaking on, it either done happening right now, or getting ready to happen. You know what I'm saying? They right. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is the author of this book, man. You know what I'm saying? But we can get into this article real quick just so y'all can really see and get a visualization of what happened to our brothers when these Europeans stepped foot on this side of the earth. So we can go ahead and Officer Ron, if I may, we can go ahead and get into it right now, sir. We're gonna get it started.
This article is called The American Indian Holocaust, known as the 500-Year War and the world's longest Holocaust in the history of mankind, by Kahintinta Horn. First paragraph, forced removal. The Indian removal policy was implemented to clear land for white settlers. Removal was more than another assault on American Indians' land titles.
Insatiably.
Insatiable greed for land remained a primary consideration, but many people now believed that the removal was the only way of saving American Indians from extermination.
Which is a lie. You know what I'm saying? What they trying to say is that they came up with this policy to actually protect the tribe of Gad and those and also those other tribes, you know what I'm saying, that was out there. But really, that's not what they did. They trying to say today that they believe that if by implementing this act, it was going to protect the North American Indians from further slaughter, when that's not true at all. They came in. You'll see as we get further into this article, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is just more trickery and lies that he loved to bring forth and fool people with. You know what I'm saying? You can go ahead and keep going, sir.
As long as the American Indians lived in close proximity to non-Native American communities, they will be decimated by disease, alcohol, and poverty.
Right, you get that? Like decimated. Like as long as they stay. Now you done came all this way, crossed all that water, coming to these people land who already have an establishment, already have a government, already got a ruling body. You know what I'm saying? And you threatening them, saying that, you know, as long as and that's why, to sidebar real quick, that's why blacks is getting done the way that they doing. You know what I'm saying? These Judites in America right now is getting, because we can't live in close proximity with these people. They are murderers. And that's what they were telling them right there, saying that as long as we are this close to each other, we gonna continue to slaughter y'all. We ain't gonna be able to coexist like this on the same land, even though you came onto our land and wreaking havoc on us. The white man is the devil, man. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna be saying that all night, because I've been studying this article and it's wild. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they trying to say, and that's today. You know what I'm saying? Because like it'd have been different if, you know, when they let us up out of slavery, you know, they would have gave us Texas, or they would have gave us like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, something like that. All of y'all that just got freed from slavery, all y'all blacks in America y'all can have that land, do as y'all will with it. That'd have been one thing. But we was set loose and have to live right next door to the children of the people that was slaughtering us. That's why we never be able to get along. And the scripture tell you that, man. The scripture say white man has a perfect hatred. His hatred is perfect. So I can only imagine what was going on during the time when our Gadite brothers and sisters was inhabiting this side of the earth and they showed up. It's the same thing. You keep going, sir. Oh, if I may, like he was saying, with alcohol, and that's what they did. Just like in every single ghetto, alcohol, disease, and poverty. We already know we the most impoverished people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol, I mean, all of us got some alcoholics in the family, you know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna talk about disease. They put us in these heinous conditions, have us living in such horrible, horrible conditions. No wonder, like they was trying to say that about the corona. I had to check this white lady not too long ago on her little rascal, because I didn't have my mask on, and I was talking to some brothers and some sisters, and she wanted to come over and join the conversation where I live, and she wouldn't come over because I didn't have my mask on. And she was like, blacks, she was like, well, I would come over, but you don't have a mask on, and they say blacks are getting the coronavirus more than anybody, right? You know what I'm saying? So I looked at it and I say, well, that's not true. I say, y'all are getting the coronavirus more than anybody. You didn't hear about Italy? You didn't hear about France? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and if black people are getting it more than white people, which is which is not true. You know what I'm saying? It's only because we live in. Look how we live. We at the right. We at the bottom of the map. We don't have a big house where I can go quarantine over here. My wife can go quarantine over there. The children can go quarantine over there. We are 7 to 8 deep in the house. You know what I'm saying? So of course we might be getting it. We don't, and most of us don't have Blue Cross Blue Shield. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that. But now they saying that we are recovering from it more too. So I had to check. Once I told her what I told her, she rolled out in the scooter. You know, it was all good. You know, so yeah, ain't nothing to trip over. But now they coming out with the studies saying that we are recovering from it more. We getting it, but we are also recovering from it more than whites or anybody else. That's because we the Lord's people. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, so as we suffered, as our brothers suffered, yeah, that they suffering with the same thing. They had to go through that, and that's the whole thing that they have on the Gadites, that they alcoholics. They gave them the casinos and all of that stuff there. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think that's true. I don't think the tribe of Gad is alcoholics like that. The white man to push any type of propaganda to, you know, defame a person or people. You know what I'm saying? You can keep going, though, sir.
God. The Indian Removal Act began in 1830. Forced marches at bayonet point to relocation settlements resulted in high mortality rates.
Right. So this wasn't no friendly evacuation. This was at the hands of bayonets, clubs, big long rifles. That's what they call it. The bayonet is that little long knife thing that's at the end of the correct, sir, right? It's that little long knife thing that's at the end of the rifle. Right, that's the bayonet. You know what I'm saying? So I know that they was stabbing people left and right. I know they was cutting down our brothers and sisters left and right. You know what I'm saying? They said it right here. They had at the hands of bayonets. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a peaceful removal. You know what I'm saying? White man is a monster, man. Like that's what should scare your kids at night, not the boogey. He is the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna tell him a story to scare him, talk about the white man. Talk about Trump. That'll scare him all day long. You know what I'm saying? You keep going, sir.
The infamous removal of the 5 civilized tribes, the Choctaws, Creeks, Chickasaws, Cherokees, and Seminoles.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that mortality rate is talking about on a large scale murder. Like they was killing people on the masses. Is something over there, sis? Someone outside? Oh, so I get Officer Ron get it. No sweat. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Chickasaws, you got the Cherokees. The Cherokees, if I'm not mistaken, the Chickasaws, they got the Choctaws, they got the casino in Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? I think they all up in that regional area of Oklahoma. The Seminole Indians, the Seminoles, of course, would be like the Florida area. The Cherokees also would be Oklahoma as well, I believe. I think that's the Cherokees would be like Geronimo. You know what I'm saying? Them brothers, though. You heard of Geronimo. Everybody, even if you don't know who Geronimo is, you heard the name before. He's a famous Gadite. I'm talking about famous. You know what I'm saying? Them was the ones that was battling against terrorism way back then. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? He's famous. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Chickasaws, you got all of these different tribes. You got the Choctaws, the Creeks, the Chickasaws, the Cherokees, and the Seminoles all getting ready for removal. And anytime the white man get ready to remove somebody, you know, you can imagine and know that death is involved. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have, like the white man, you know, it's just a sidebar for a minute. The white man, he is not fit to rule. You get what I'm saying? Because what's the number one thing you may need to rule a people or rule over a people? People, that's true. But what would you need to rule over that people with, though? Go ahead, sis.
So, like y'all, sir, is it fear?
Well, that's how he doing it today. You know what I'm saying? That's how he doing it today. You know, that's not what I was looking for, but you can dictate if you want to. There's a lot of dictatorships going on. Go ahead, sis.
Leadership?
Well, that's qualities. Y'all naming the qualities. Besides the fear, though, y'all naming the quality. But one of the ones, I'm just gonna give it to you though. But one of the things you need to rule over people is compassion. You need compassion. You have to have some type of love for people if you plan on, you know what I'm saying, ruling them. You know what I'm saying? Like Solomon had compassion for his people when, you know, he asked, when the Lord came to him and asked him, what do you want? Solomon could have asked for anything. You know what he asked for? Wisdom. You know what I'm saying? The white man don't have none of that in his bone, in his spirit, in anything that he do. He's a murderer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read in the stead of Officer Rom until he get finished with that. Okay, I'm gonna pick up where he left off. Is a dismal page in United States history. By the 1820s, the Cherokees, who had established a written constitution modeled after the United States Constitution, a newspaper, schools. Now, this is all of the stuff that they didn't develop. You know what I'm saying? Because now they got to come up with some way to compete with these people and make themselves more like, I guess, liberal would be a correct word for it. You know what I'm saying? Because the white man already looking at them like they savages. So now they have to do something to get on their level to even correspond back. So that's when they started coming up with these schools and all of that. Before that, they weren't living like that. They didn't have to do those things. That wasn't their culture. You know what I'm saying? Newspapers, schools, and industries in their settlements. This is after the fact, after they done been removed. You know what I mean? And in their settlements resisted removal. So some of them, you know, just like anybody, ain't gonna go peacefully. Like, you trying to run us up off our land. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's gonna, no one, you know, if you love your people and if you love your land, you know what I'm saying, you gonna fight for it. You can expect that. Like, it wouldn't, I don't even believe when they was in 1619, when they came and grabbed us, that we just went peacefully. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that, so I respect and got love for Geronimo and Sitting Bull and all of them, because they went out like soldiers. They'd rather die than to, you know what I'm saying, be enslaved. You get what I'm saying? So we'll keep going. In 1938, the federal troops evicted the Cherokees. Approximately 4,000 Cherokees died during the removal process because of poor planning. They didn't even, by the United States government, they didn't even implement a feasible plan to actually move the people. That's like somebody, you sleep, somebody just come to you and say, you gotta go. Well, where I'm gonna go? I don't care where you go, you gotta get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? That's like somebody come and do you like that. And then they say, and then what make it even more heinous is that 4,000 Cherokees died doing this removal. You know what I'm saying? Process because of poor planning by the United States government. This exodus to Indian territory is known as the Trail of Tears. Anybody familiar with the Trail of Tears? You can use the mic if you want to, sis, if you want to speak into it.
I've heard it, but I don't really know the whole story. I need to.
What do you know about it?
That it was like a wipeout. They came in, destroyed our people, brothers and sisters. Right,
which led up to the Trail of Tears. Right. And so the Trail of Tears is when, you got a $20 bill, the face on there is Andrew Jackson, right? He was I forgot what number president he was, but he was president. And he was a colonel back then. So then when they was removing the Cherokees and all of these other tribes, they was slaughtering them. Like it was, just think of a long caravan as they being removed. Salakia, sir, I'm right at the bottom where it says, still on forced removal, where it says in 1938. You see where it's at right there? In the bottom right corner in 1938. Okay, no sweat.
In 1938, federal troops evicted the Cherokees. Approximately 4,000 Cherokees died during the removal process because of poor planning by the United States government.
Right, like I was saying, they didn't even come up with an actual plan, you know what I'm saying, to move or relocate a people. You know what I'm saying? Or they just didn't care what they had to do. As long as they was moving, they didn't care that, You know what I'm saying? This woman was pregnant. Or this was an elderly man or a crippled man. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted them on their feet moving. And if you didn't keep up, well, you know what I'm saying? They slaughtered you. You know what I mean? And that's what Andrew Jackson became president over. You know what I'm saying? That's where he got his face on the $20 bill for slaughtering the tribe of Gad, the Cherokees. Keep going, sir.
Khan. The exodus to Indian Territory is known as the Trail of Tears.
Right.
More than 100,000 American Indians eventually crossed the Mississippi River under the authority of the Indian Removal Act.
And tens of thousands died. You know what I'm saying? Tens of thousands died on this Trail of Tears that Andrew Jackson is famous for. You know what I'm saying? The lack of compassion that the white man has. That's why, I can't wait. I hope I'm alive when I see the Lord crack that sky. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what's coming. I know it's going to be the end of them, like the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? So, man, the white man, look, he just doesn't deserve the rule. He's been a murderer, like the scriptures say, from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Where they get this whole breaking bread and kumbaya stuff from, that is just game. That's just what you need to call it. That's game. That's that mass brainwashing that they've been putting on our people for the last 500 years. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord, and I can't wait for the Lord to come deal with that. That's why when Captain I.S.U.P.K always be saying, I can't wait for the Lord to bathe the streets of America with the blood of the white man. You just don't know how much in the spirit that brother is in, man, because when you read about the atrocities that these people have performed against the Lord's people, man, oppression ought to make a wise man mad, right? But we just not wise enough because we not mad enough. You know what I'm saying? But you can keep going, though, sir. So we're going to get into, so that was that. That was the removal. You know what I'm saying? Which didn't go well. So now we're gonna get into more things that the white man has done, man. You can go ahead and go, sir, if you got it.
Second part, sterilization.
Right.
Article 2 of the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1946. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy.
And that's what they did. Throughout this whole 500 years, they have been committing mass genocide on the Lord's people. I mean, yeah, you can read about, Hiroshima, you know what I'm saying, where they dropped the atom bomb, where they was doing that test experiment, because during that time, even with Hiroshima, they had enough troops to go in and subdue those people, whether they surrendered or not. We talking about Japan, you know what I'm saying? A little small, tiny island. But instead, the white man dropped a whole bomb on them, first time, too, as an experiment to see what would be the repercussions of this atom bomb dropping on people. And even to this day, they say in Japan, they got the shadows where that people burnt, you know what I'm saying, where black rain fall from the radiation that the bomb set off. They got for the longest, not now, though, but back then, for years afterwards, after the effect of it, it was still raining black rain, acid rain, and stuff like that. Like, it's still some areas where you could see the shadows on the wall where the people died right in there, whatever motion they was in. Right, the white man is the devil, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if he did that, and he's in league with Japan and with Africa and with China, and look what he did to them, the Vietnam War, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But no one on earth has suffered the way that it was killed and murdered and raped and all of that, like how the Lord's people was. Those 12 tribes of Israel, man, we was done the most horrible way you could ever think to do a people. You know what I'm saying? You can keep going, sir.
Khan, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. As such, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. In the mid-19th...
Right. So now they trying to, Salakia, sir, now they trying to population control. Now they trying to develop this type of, do something to sterilize them. I guess vaccines, some type of vaccines, they trying to get to where Gadite women will no longer be able to give birth. They trying to stop the the birth right. You know what I'm saying? Them from having babies and everything. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
Like you. In the mid-1970s, a Choctaw Saugee Indian Health Services doctor was approached by a 26-year-old American Indian woman who desired a womb transplant.
Right. She wanted a womb. Why would this woman want a womb transplant? It gets better. Keep going, sir.
She had been sterilized when she was 20 at the Indian Health Service Hospital in Claremont, Oklahoma.
Right, just like Planned Parenthood. No different. Except instead of them using instruments to go in you and suck the baby out, they was trying to they was sterilizing them back then. You know what I'm saying? They was full blood stopping them from womb, to the point to where this woman, this 20-year-old woman, so she's young. You know what I'm saying? She young. She the thought of even having a baby probably just started hitting her mind, like, man, I want a child or something, whatever. You know, she can't even do it because she's been sterilized already. So now she's going to the doctor to try to get a womb transplant. I don't know much about none of that, but I can only imagine how can you do that? I don't even know if they actually.
That's possible. Because if that was possible, a lot of women would be able to have kids, but that's devastating to be 20 and know you can't have kids.
Right. I mean, right. You know what I'm saying? But and you're absolutely right though. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it's possible. But obviously she was in the condition and in the mind state that of realizing what had happened to her. She was probably just going to see if it was even possible. You know what I'm saying? You can keep going, sir.
It was discovered that 75% of the Claremont sterilizations were non-therapeutic, that the women American Indians were being prompted to sign sterilization forms they didn't understand.
So that's just like that's how they do us today in the court system, because we don't know the law. We sign confessions, or we sign for this and we sign for that, and don't even know what we signing for, and the next thing you know, we life in prison. You know what I'm saying? Just it's the same way, making them sign something. She didn't even know what she was signing. She didn't even know what the aftermath of putting her signature on that piece of paper was going to do to her. You know what I'm saying? That's why we call the white man the devil. This ain't got nothing to do with his skin. This dude is literally the full embodiment of Satan here on earth. You know what I'm saying? He is just wicked. His nature, everything. Like no compassion, no nothing in him, man. He is straight wicked. Keep going, sir.
That they were being told the operations were reversible.
Right, lying. Even whether it was or whether it wasn't. But knowing the white man, you know, it could have been. But why would they want to do that? Why would they want this sister to go and have more Gadite children? You know what I'm saying? When they are trying to completely take over the land and really wipe them out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep going, sir.
And that some women were even being asked to sign sterilization papers while they had yet come out of the birthing sedation.
Birthing sedation. You know what that means? Right. From just having a child, you still got the medicine and the effects of that medicine in you, and that's like you being in the hospital right now at Herman Memorial Ben Taub, and you just got out of surgery. You know that drogginess you feel and stuff. Somebody coming in and say, "Can you please sign this waiver real quick?" You know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you're signing. You like, you know what I'm saying? Because you heavily, sedated. You know what I mean? Like, man, when I read this, man, I almost went to tears, man. But we can keep going though, sir. Salakia.
Common Sense magazines reported that the Indian Health Service was sterilizing 3,000 Indian women per year.
That is a lot. Salaki said my fault. That was a lot. That's a lot. 3,000 per year back then. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot. They was really trying to kill the tribe of Gad off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the white man do. The moment it started looking too bad with the brutality, they etched themselves into biowarfare. They try to find other ways of whether they talk about putting it in the food, injections, H1N1. Say that again? All of them vaccinations. That's why my children don't get none. You know, my children don't get vaccinations. I'm sorry. If they catch the flu, we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's how they do it, though. So you. No sweat, sir.
4 to 6% of the childbearing population. Dr. R.T. Ravenholt, then director of the federal government's Office of Population, later confirmed that surgical sterilization has become increasingly important in the recent years as one of the advanced methods of fertility management.
That is the male version of Margaret Sanger, the chick who started Planned Parenthood. This Dr. R.T. Ravenholt, he's the male version of Margaret Sanger. You know what I'm saying? He just did it through trying to sterilize them to where they wouldn't be able to have children. Then this devil come later on and just, I guess they couldn't stop Gadite women. Because the Lord said he would not cast us away, so we were still able to, throughout all that, have children, or we were still overpopulating. Even though some women was being sterilized, that more women was having children. And then they had to go and one-up it. Okay, well, we can't get them through sterilization, so now we're just going to go in and rip them out. You get what I'm saying? Keep going, sir, if you don't mind, sir. The water.
Ravenholt's response to these inquiries told the Population Association of America in St. Louis that the critics were a really radical extremist group lashing out at a responsible program so that revolution would occur.
You see, like, the white man loved to demonize you. He loved to demonize you. He loved to say that you a criminal, you a rapist, you a threat to society, super predators, like Hillary Clinton said. You know what I'm saying? He loved to say those things when he's trying to push an agenda on top of you. You know what I'm saying, brother? Yeah, you know, like the white man is the devil. I'm going to say that all night.
That's right.
All night, man, for real, man. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Like, this dude is a literal monster, man. You know what I'm saying? You do not have to even go Christiany with it. You do not even have a heart. We know what that means in here. That's your mind. But even to take the notion as they said, you have no feelings whatsoever. You don't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep going with that, sir. White man is the damn devil, man.
From the beginning of European control, there has been an unrelenting drive to commit genocide over another culture. The American Indians were a majority, so the Europeans called them an enemy.
Now, hold on. That's a lie. To commit genocide over another people, out of all the wars of the world, right? Even how far ever you want to go back. Yeah, you went to war, and if you won the war, you was the winner. You conquered, but you didn't go to wipe a whole civilization out. You know what I'm saying? We went to battle you know, that was something supernatural with the Lord that was taking place when we came out of Egypt and we was getting on those trials. That's different. But I'm just talking about just the essence of warfare itself. Somebody come up against you, somebody come up against them, and they go to war. They go to war. They fight. Whoever the Lord decide to be with, that's who decides that battle and that war. But you don't go to just wipe out every single body. You know what I'm saying? Like, even look at the way they do warfare today. They conquering people left and right, but they ain't just wiping them out. You know what I'm saying? But they'll say these things. Matter of fact, can you read that from the top one more time, sir?
From the beginning of European control, there has been an unrelenting drive to commit genocide over another culture. That's
what the white man seeks to do. He don't know how to stop. He's like a child that can't stop eating candy. You know what I'm saying? He cannot help himself. He must conquer every and all things. He want to conquer space. He had to go up into space and put space stations up there to conquer space. He had to conquer animals. Like, nobody gets a breath of fresh air with this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody get a chance to. That's why the scriptures say this is not our place of rest, man. It's not. This is a place where you always stay on shamar, man. Go ahead, sir.
So, like, if I may, the scriptures say, ask the trees who the devil is, or ask the animals, and
They will tell you. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
And they will tell you who ask Hammurabi, ask Cecil the lion. You know what I'm saying? Ask the fish and wildlife. They out there clubbing baby seals getting the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is protected when it comes to this white man. He must kill and murder. If it's left up to him, he would murder until the last white man is left, till he's the only man left.
Right.
He would slaughter like that. He would wipe himself out. As long as there's one that can remain, he would kill everything on the planet. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why we got ozone problem, right? They talking about global warming because he tearing the ozone up. He has no love for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's been them since the moment they started venturing off. It's the moment they came out them caves. You know what I'm saying? The white man, since he took power, he has not had a moment of peace. He has been at war since the time he came into power. Keep going, sir. I just wanted to bring that out.
God. The American Indians were a majority, so the Europeans called them an enemy. One of the major facts the United States government has failed to understand is that the spiritual aspect of life is inseparable from the economic and the political aspects.
Right.
The loss of tradition and memory will be the loss of positive sense to self.
Right. When somebody conquers you and then takes your heritage and then takes your identity and then takes your traditions and your customs, what are you left with? You know what I'm saying? Not knowing where you come. Well, in our case, the tribe of Judah, you know what I'm saying? Benjamin and Levi, not knowing where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what type of, how you used to dress. Thank the Lord for the I.S.U.P.K, man.
That's
because
right.
In the spirit, the Lord gave us all that back. You know what I'm saying? Damn right. Damn right, man. Damn right. Because when you have a people that's destroyed like that, man, they'll begin to worship anything, do anything. Just trying to damn near find their place. Not knowing. You know what I'm saying? That's why we romance with Africa so much, because that's all we've been told. Well, we from Africa, we from Africa, we from Africa. None of us really had a desire to go to Africa. There's something about Africa that ain't really on too many blacks, Negroes in America agenda. Even if we got the money, ain't nobody really just visiting Africa like that. You know what I'm saying? Because in our spirit, we know we're not those people. You know, but when you're dealing with a destroyed people and they don't have no more spirituality, you done strip them of their power, then that's what this brother, that's what this sister is saying right here in this part of the article. You can do them any kind of way. Like you can easily conquer them then, because now you can push and incorporate whatever you want. You could program them however you want them to be. You know what I'm saying? You keep going, sir.
God. Those reared in traditional American Native societies are inclined to relate events and experiences to one another.
Right.
They do not organize perceptions or external events in terms of dualities or priorities.
Right.
Egalitarianism is reflected in the structure of American Indian literature.
Right, that egalitarianism, that's just talking about like their philosophies. You know what I'm saying? That kind of belief system, as far as just philosophizing like the morals you would have, that moral compass. You know what I'm saying? Like saying without that, you know, you would be basically savages. You know what I'm saying? So keep going.
Which does not rely on conflict, crisis, and resolution for organization.
In other words, meaning the tribe of Gad was a peaceful, or is today, what's left them is a peaceful people. You know what I'm saying? They would rather, I do feel like they did extend a hand out to the white man, but the white man, with him being the devil that the Bible speaks of, rejected it, even if he did it in a subtle way. You know what I'm saying? So because they have that connection. They know, you know what I'm saying, what it means to be a brother, and just that's in the lowest form I could put it in. That's how you know we the Lord's people. Show me blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Show me a more compassionate people than us. You know what I'm saying? You can do anything you want to us and we'll still forgive you for it. No matter what it is. Whether you murdering us in the streets, where you got us on welfare, Section 8, and all kind of poverty, throwing liquor stores on every single corner in the ghetto, giving us drugs in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? We still shoot us down in the streets like dogs. We will still find a way to forgive you.
And support your president.
And support the president. I mean, well, that's stupidity. That's being afraid. That's just like jumping bandwagon. For the people out there, the blacks, Hispanics that are supporting Donald Trump, that's like, if you can't beat them, join them. You get what I'm saying? That's what that is like. That's them just giving in. Instead of standing with the Lord like the men and the sisters in the Israelite school of UPK do, they would rather just give in to it. Well, maybe they won't treat us so, but if we vote for Trump, if we go vote for Trump, and we have the Trump pen and the Make America Great Again hat on, maybe they won't attack me. You know what I'm saying? If the kid is not a Trump supporter, then you know, but that hat, you know what I'm saying? They feel like that might be a form of protection. You can't tell me, like, black people, I know we lost and destroyed, but you can't tell me as a black person you don't see what's going on with your people. It might not hit you until it hit home, but you see it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we'll join ourselves to them, because we maybe as us already thinking like individuals, because we don't think as a body, right? I'm not talking about nobody in here. I'm talking about out there. We don't think it's you and it's me, right? So as me being an individual, then maybe if I support Trump, and I get pulled over by the laws and I got that Make America Great hat again, Make America Great Again hat on, maybe they'll show some leniency. But the problem is they don't show no leniency, whether you got the hat, the pen, whatever. You got the Trumpy bear in the passenger side with you at all. Go ahead, sis.
The more I shed myself, the more I see how lost and messed up the world is. Like, especially us, like our kind, like blacks, Hispanics, like we are, far gone, like really far gone. You have a few people that's a little woken, but for the most part, it's devastating.
The I.S.U.P.K is the last line of defense for black people, for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Like, can you imagine if we was not here, what it would be like? You talking about as and the water for that, you know what I'm saying, Most High in Christ, you know what I'm saying, that you doing that and you starting to see how just that veil is being lifted, you know what I'm saying, and you starting to see how it is. Now, take that and then magnify it to the 12th power. You know what I'm saying, without the Israelite school of UPK. Just imagine if we wasn't here and on the block battling against this spirit that's on America, the white man, you know what I'm saying, we'll probably be in slavery again. Like literally. I know they done came and with this bastard here, Trump. Oh man, we would have. It would be it would be even more chaotic than what it is right now. But they know of us. You know what I'm saying? They know of us, and so we damn near keeping the white man in line. We can't necessarily stop his actions, but we make it. Trust me, with us in existence, we making him think a lot more. We making him keep that thinking cap on. Or otherwise, he just gonna say screw it and just go in on everybody like forget it. And that's what Trump trying to do. He trying to bring in all type of acts that could militarize the streets. If like protests where he could bring in the National Guard and the Coast Guard and handle stuff like they would in Iraq or somewhere out there, they would be able to do it on their own soil. Like I said, the white man is the devil.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Keep going. Right. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
Con. The final solution of the North American Indian problem was the model for the subsequent Jewish Holocaust and South African apartheid.
Did you hear that? You read it one more time, sir.
Con. The final solution of the North American Indian problem was the model for the subsequent Jewish Holocaust and South African apartheid.
Meaning, this is how they fashion. This is how, and we're going to get in there. I don't want to give it too early, but since it's starting right there with it, we'll touch on it again. This is how Hitler used this system right here. That the white man did to the Gadite brothers, to the tribe of Gad. That system, he used the same thing when he was dealing with his own people. He seen how the white man over here was doing it to the Gadites, and he incorporated that same system for that fake that fake Jew Holocaust. You know what I'm saying? That only took the lives of so-called 6 million people. You get what I'm saying? But he saw that. He saw that, okay, that's working for them. And he studied it. And he incorporated it into his game plan. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
Khan, why is the biggest Holocaust in all humanity being hidden from history?
Right.
Is it because it lasted so long that it has become a habit? It's been well documented that the killing of indigenous people in the Western Hemisphere since the beginning of colonization has been estimated at 120 million.
What?
120 million.
120 million indigenous people has been slaughtered at the hands of the white man, since from the time that they first entered into the Western Hemisphere. Meaning from the time that they came over on this side of the earth in 1492 all the way up until the 1800s. And even if you crunch them numbers to present day, they done went up. You know what I'm saying? But from 1492, from the 1400s all the way to the 1800s, it's been 120 million people. That's like 4 or 5 nations in one. You know what I'm saying? That's if you add them all up, that's like 4 or 5 nations. You know, that's a lot of people to have that much blood on your hands, man. You know what I'm saying? That is a lot of people, man. And that's why I say even when it came down to when they went over into Africa and started grabbing us, all of that was a system that was made and came about from the Europeans that ventured over here, Christopher Columbus. As we're gonna get into that too. That's what's so heavy about this article. It gives you the whole 500 years in bits and pieces. It's too much. It's too much depth. If you find an article that'll do it, but not a white man, he's just trying to get rid of all of that. He's trying to replace all of this stuff. So a lot of this stuff is getting. You know how since we done came into existence, we done brought out so much stuff. He make them books. That used to be $30, $15. Now they $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. So you got to dig a little more. You know what I'm saying? Especially because they know black people ain't got $3,000 to go spend on a book. Just a sidebar, sir. Go ahead. But that's what that was, though. You know what I'm saying? He saw how they was doing the North American Indians here, and he just incorporated that same system on his own people. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Yet nobody wants to speak about it.
Right. Nah, they sweep it under the rug. Nobody talks about that. You know what I'm saying? The white man, he'll talk about everybody else but himself. He'll tell you what China doing, what they doing, all Iran building weapons of mass destruction, Africa doing this and doing that, Gaddafi over there, whatever he got, but he'll never throw himself in the equation of nothing. It's like he does no wrong. They won't talk about, and then if you start talking about it, what they'll tell you to do? You should forget. You know what I'm saying? Forget. Yeah, that happened long ago, man. That was way back then. You know what I'm saying?
Today, historians, anthropologists, and archaeologists are revealing that information on this Holocaust is being deliberately eliminated from the knowledge base and consciousness of North Americans and the world.
Trying to wipe them out. Not just from the North American and it's the tribe of Gad, our Gadite brothers and sisters, but the entire world. They trying to cover up all the murder and that they have committed on just this side of the earth alone. You know what I'm saying? They trying to cover it up. Because why? Because God forbid they got some radical Negroes and sisters start bringing this information out. You know what I'm saying? And start charging them with their crimes. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
God. A completely false picture is being painted of our people as suffering from social ills of our own making. It could be argued that the loss of 120 million from 1500 to 1800 isn't the same as the loss of 6 million people during World War II. Can 6 million in 1945 be compared to 1 million?
Right.
In school? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That which is Thanksgiving. They trying to like they say that like we broke they broke bread with the Gadites and all of that. No, they didn't. She just told you right here that they slaughtered the Gadites. You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters and children and men, elderly and all got it. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. Right, we keep going, sir.
In school, children are still being taught that large areas of North America are uninhabited, as if this land belongs to no one and never did.
Right. Our children being told in school that when the Europeans, the white man set foot on this side of the earth, it was nobody here. Or it was some people here, but we just took the land that was not inhabited. When you can go and, just on your own time, if you want to research it, Gad was all over this place. Some tribes went all the way from Pennsylvania, Delaware, all the way up into Ontario, to Quebec, which is also in Canada, all the way down to the Mississippi River. Like some tribes was that large. Some tribes was on almost like an empire type size. You know what I mean? Like they had full reign over all of this until the white man got here. But this is what they try to tell your children in school, to have your children believing, and it don't get touched on because mom and dad ain't worried about it either. They not, studying none of this. So whatever the school teachers say, that's what the parents back up. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
The role of our ancestors as caretakers is constantly and habitually overlooked by colonial society.
Right.
Before the arrival of Europeans, cities and towns were flourishing. Mexico City had a larger population than any city in Europe.
That's Mexico City. You know what I'm saying? The Israelite brothers, that's Mexico City. They had cities, you know what I'm saying? Like they had civilizations during that time. They had governments, a power structure. They wasn't running around in birthday suits and savages and all of that. That's just false propaganda to create a reason to go and destroy and murder and rape a people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
Salaki, the people were healthy and well fed.
Right.
The first Europeans were amazed. The agricultural products developed by the indigenous people transformed human nutrition internationally.
Meaning, we taught them how to farm.
Right.
Even though they own all of the farmland right now, they got that from us. We taught them how to survive the winter. You know what I'm saying? That's what them Gadite brothers and sisters was doing, teaching them how to survive the winter. Because if they didn't know these things, they asses was Salakia, they was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? And had it incorporated to where the Gadites were such good farmers, all of them techniques that they learned off of the Gadite brothers and sisters, they still incorporate them today in today's agriculture. Got that from the Gadites. Keep going, sir. Salaki.
The North American Indian Holocaust was studied by South Africa for their apartheid program and by Hitler for his genocide of the Jews during World War II.
See what I'm saying? He studied this.
Hitler commented that he admired the great job Americans had done in taking care of the Indian problem. The policies used to kill us off was so successful that the people today generally assume that our population was low.
Even Hitler gave props to what these Europeans had done to the indigenous people of this land. He gave them props. And to the point to where they were so good at it and so successful at it, it had you thinking at one point in time that it wasn't a large amount of Gadites here. You know what I'm saying? It was just a small little handful that got wiped out, when really it was, like I say, in the millions. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. It's like you.
Hitler told a past U.S. president, when he remarked about their maltreatment of the Jewish people, he mind your business, your own business. You're the worst.
Right. So that's like a little misprint in there, but it was like, so Hitler was addressing, the U.S. president was talking about all the things that Hitler had did. Hitler said, you ain't the one to talk. You need to mind your damn business. You worse than I am. I killed 6 million. You killed 120. You know what I'm saying? The things that you done, I have yet to even think of. You know what I'm saying? So Hitler was like, you need to mind your business because you worse than I am. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
God. The next section, the beginnings of the native genocide.
Right.
Columbus made.
Like you, sir, real quick. Now this is starting to go into back. It's starting to go backwards now, like into 1492 when they first started hitting the islands. You know what I'm saying? Christopher Columbus and everything. So this is going. So it's kind of jumping back and forth between the North American, you know, the tribe of Gadite. I mean, the tribe of, you know what I'm saying? I'm stumbling over my words, Salakia, the Gadites, and now it's going into the Ephraimites. You know what I'm saying? And all of the people that was on Hispaniola, the island of Hispaniola and everything like that, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans today, which was known as also as the Taino Indians. So this is starting to go in from 1492.
Columbus made 4 voyages to the New World. 1. The initial voyage reveals several important things about the man. First, he had genuine courage because few ships' captains had ever pointed their prow toward the open ocean.
Right. No one doing in Spain at that time was really trying to venture voyage off. You know what I'm saying? They stayed in their vicinity, in they waters, you know what I mean? And they did their shipping and commerce like that. But, you know, Christopher Columbus, he wanted to go off. He wanted to see what was off the map. You know what I'm saying? If I could say it that way. He wanted to see what was beyond the pages of the map.
Right.
Right.
The complete unknown. Secondly, from numerous of his letters and report, we learned that his overarching goal was to seize wealth that belonged to others, even his own men, by whatever means necessary.
I'm talking about, that's Christopher Columbus. It wasn't this dude that you learn about in school, that he just set sail and discovered a place. He knew exactly what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to go and have a come up. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to get somewhere so he can rob and steal and kill and murder and do all of those things there. It wasn't what you was reading about Christopher Columbus being them people fighting to tear down that statue. That they could leave that up. Leave that up as a monument for us to know what this devil was really about. And it wasn't about just I forgot what you call them, people that be sailing around and stuff like that, like I forgot what the name of them is, but you know, those people that like to voyage off and go traveling around the world and do things like that. He wasn't them. He had his eyes set on something specific. He had a specific agenda in mind. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
God. Columbus's Spanish royal sponsors, Ferdinand and Isabella, had promised a lifetime pension for the first man who sighted land. A few hours after midnight on October 12, 1492, Juan Rodriguez Bermeo, a lookout on the Pinta, cried out in the bright moonlight. He had spied land ahead. Most likely, Bermeo was seeing the white beaches of the Wakeling Island in the Bahamas.
Right. So Queen Elizabeth was like, you know, whoever spot land first, you know what I'm saying, you good for the rest of your life. I'm gonna set you up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he was doing. So as they set and sail, you know what I'm saying? They just trying to this dude, what was his name? Juan Rodriguez Bermillo. He spot land. He spot land. Now, keep in mind, just keep that in mind. Keep going, sir.
As they waited impatiently for dawn, Columbus let it be known that he had spotted land several hours before Bermeo.
Lying. That's the white man for you. Just a straight up liar. You know what I mean? And you can go and read about these things in they got this book called the Columbus Diaries or Memoirs. It's either called the Columbus Diaries or the Columbus Memoirs, where you can actually go and read that he also had Hebrew scholars and the Apocrypha on the ship with him, on the Peter with him, you know what I'm saying? And they was actually looking for the Lord's people. Because during this time, Christianity was starting to take over. Right. And they was, you know, they knew that the Lord's people, the Lord's chosen people, was on somewhere out there on some island somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And you can find that, like I said, in the Columbus Diaries, or it's either the Columbus Diaries or it's called the Columbus Memoirs, where he had the Apocrypha and Hebrew scholars to translate. You know what I'm saying? And find it, because the Apocrypha tells the location of where the other 10 tribes voyaged off to. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. It's like you.
According to Columbus's journal of that voyage, his ships were at the time traveling 10 miles per hour. To have spotted land several hours before Bermeo, Columbus would have had to see more than 30 miles over the horizon, a physical impossibility. Nevertheless, Columbus took the lifetime pension for himself.
Right, you see? Now, yeah, if a person could see 30 miles, they gifted. You know what I'm saying? They got to be gifted. You know what I mean? And then especially if your ship is only traveling 10 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? So it's taking you, 20 miles, 6 hours, or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like doing the math on it either, so we're just going to keep moving on. But I'm just saying, there's no way that he could have spotted land. He just conniving, a liar. A deceiver, the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he does best, and he's lying. So all of this, how they made Columbus seem like a hero, that shows you the spirit that's on the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a murderer, but he will make himself seem like he's honorable. And if you ask yourself what is honorable about the white man, I promise you can't think of one thing. You can't think of one thing that the white man has done righteously in this earth to say, hey, man, you know, they righteous people. They honorable people. They not. They just a cesspool of murderers. That's what they are. And as you celebrate Thanksgiving this month, you know what I'm saying? Every time you slice that ham and that turkey open and eat them yams and that pumpkin pie and that sweet potato pie, you are commemorating the death of 120,000 family members. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. It's about to start getting good, though, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Columbus installed himself as governor of the Caribbean islands. Right,
so now he done landed, now he done found these islands, and already, just like that, he's governor now. Remember, keep in mind, it's people there.
With headquarters on Hispaniola, the large island now shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Right, which is also in the prophecy that those two brothers would share the same landmass. Like, matter of fact, you can go and read about that in I should have pulled that book. You can go and read about it, though, in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. You know what I'm saying? Where it says that, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, where them two shared the same landmass. Cause they was like, cause when the dude in Lost Tribes Promised Land was talking to them, they was like, yeah, our brothers is on a far off island where they both sharing the same island. But anyway, and that's also in Genesis as well too, I believe. You keep going on, sir.
He described the people, the Arawaks, called by some the Tainos, this way.
This Christopher Columbus speaking right here.
The people of this land and of all the other islands which I have found and seen, or have not seen, all go naked, men and women, as their mothers bore them, except that some women covered one place only with the leaf of a plant, or with a net of cotton which they make for that purpose. They have no iron or steel or weapons,
Right.
nor are they capable of using them.
Right.
Although they are well built people of handsome stature, because they are wondrous timid. They are so artless and free with all they possess, that no one believe it without having seen it.
Wow, like you are dealing with a peaceable people. I'm talking about these people sound honorable to me. Right. You are dealing with a peaceable people, harmless. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
Of anything they have, if you ask them for it, they never say no. Rather, they invite the person to share it and show as much love as if they were giving their hearts.
Like they was like damn, they showed brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? And sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? These are peaceable people that showed nothing but brotherhood, had decorum about themselves, knew how to be good, how to show good hospitality to someone they ain't never met before, but amongst themselves, look at the brotherhood and sisterhood that they had. Look at the Taino Indians and how they had, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Puerto Ricans, the level of brotherhood and sisterhood that they operated under. He's telling you, almost to where that they done gave you their whole heart.
And whatever the thing be of value or of small price, at once they are content with whatever little thing or whatever kind may be given to them.
Right.
The
added note.
Added note, and ominous foreshadowing of the horrors to come. Columbus also wrote in his journal, "I could conquer the whole world of them with 50 men."
With what?
With 50 men, and govern them as I pleased.
You see what I'm saying? This is a straight up monster. You know what I'm saying? You take that history book and burn it, because it's inaccurate. It's a book of lies. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should do with it. Just take it out there, put it on the barbecue pit, throw some lighter fluid on it, and set it afire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's straight lies. And that's one thing about the white man. The white man's so prideful, he didn't think we was going to get none of this. He didn't think that we was going to even be in position to where we can read about all of his heinous crimes and atrocities that he done been through and done throughout this earth. You know what I'm saying? Like that you got to be very prideful to think like that. Like you can just rewrite history and no one find out about you. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
After Columbus had surveyed the Caribbean region, he returned to Spain to prepare his invasion of the Americas. From accounts of his second voyage, we can begin to understand what the New World represented to Columbus and his men. It offered them life without limits, unbridled freedom.
No matter how they got it. Remember, like you said earlier, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So when they saw these people, when they saw this new world, they didn't care that they had tribes and another people living on this side of the earth. The only thing that they saw is the wealth and the power that it would bring to them. You know what I'm saying? So this whole Thanksgiving nonsense, you got to show me where they actually broke bread with anybody at. Because out of all the research that I've done and the men of the Lord in this school have done, we have yet to find any type of document saying that the white man broke bread with these people or engaged them in peace that didn't soon come with the sword afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So... and you're reading it for yourself right here. You know what I'm saying? That was the mind of Christopher Columbus. It was not, oh, I just want to just explore. I want to be explorer. That was the word I was looking for earlier. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go explore. I want to, be one of those guys to put my name, be the first one to actually find something that actually could belong to me or my country. He was going and preparing himself for an onslaught, especially after he seen how the so-called Puerto Ricans, the Taino Indians, was treating them. Just because the fact that, and that's the proof right there. It don't matter if you put on a Make America hat on or whatever, or you wear the pennant or you go vote. The white man in his heart, he is preparing himself to slaughter you. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the scriptures we finna bring up here in a minute. You can keep going, sir.
Columbus took the title Admiral of the Ocean Sea and proceeded to unleash a reign of terror unlike anything seen before or since. When he was finished, 8 million Arawaks, virtually the entire native population of Hispaniola,
the Taino Indians, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Hebrew, the Aparium, you know what I'm saying, the Ephraimites, our brothers, you know what I'm saying,
had been exterminated by torture, murder, forced labor, starvation, disease, and despair.
Good night. Good night. You know what I'm saying? That the white man is the devil, man. Right. Y'all got to get that in y'all head, man, for all y'all out there listening and, you know what I'm saying, you think it's something good about the white man. The white, you know what I'm saying, if you got a white friend, you can expect him to murder you pretty soon. Right. I'm just going to say it like that. I mean, that's the paranoia I have. If I get too close to white people, I start thinking about, I wonder what he thinking. I wonder what, you know, whether I'm in line or wherever, I'm watching them. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep my eyes off them because they, and this is their ancestors. You know what I'm saying? What makes you think they're any different? You know what I'm saying? They come from a cesspool of murderers. You know what I'm saying? Columbus, like Commander General YAHANNA had brung out one time when he was battling one of them Spaniards up there in New York. Like he was saying that, man, they took so much gold from the Taino Indians off the island of Hispaniola that ships was sinking. Ships was sinking in the ocean. They doing right now expeditions still to this day trying to find those lost ships with all that gold in it. You know what I'm saying? That is the white man for you, man. He is selfish, a murderer. You know, he's very predictive, you know what I'm saying, if you know your enemy. The only reason why he's unpredictable is because black people haven't figured out who their enemy is yet. You know what I'm saying? But if you read in between the lines, you'll see your enemy, and you'll start preparing yourself for that. Salakia, sir.
A Spanish missionary, Bartolome de las Casas, described firsthand how the Spaniards terrorized the natives.
Right.
Las Casas give numerous eyewitness accounts of repeated mass murder and routine sadistic torture.
Not only are you murdering, but you gotta torture them. That's what they call them, like them serial killers, man. They just had them all, you know, like Silence of the Lambs type cats. You know them, Dexter. You know what I'm saying? Like them, like you can't just go ahead and just end it quick for them. You gotta torture them while you doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you getting off on it or something. Like it brings you joy. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be real sadistic for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be an animal, a straight beast. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. Salakia.
As Barry Lopez has accurately summarized it, one day in front of Las Casas, the Spanish dismembered, beheaded, or raped 3,000 people.
Right. Can I get Ecclesiastes 12 and 10, sir? You know what I'm saying? In the Apocrypha. You know what I'm saying? He beheaded one day in front of Las Casas, the Spanish dismembered, beheaded, and raped 3,000 people. For what? You already done conquered them. Salakia, sis, go ahead. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Like, good night. You know what I'm saying? For what? You already got these people subdued. They already working for you. You already got them in the mountains mining for you and all of this stuff here. So you just going around just cut. That's why when we say we be happy, that's why when in the scriptures where David said, happy shall he be, when he could take thy little ones and smash their heads up against the stone, he was in the right spirit to say that. because that's what Andrew Jackson did on the Trail of Tears when the pregnant Gadite women couldn't keep up with the caravan. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. It was one Salaki. Let me finish this though. But couldn't keep up with the caravan. He got off his horse. He'll cut their belly open, take the baby out the womb, and go smash it up against the trees. And there's some other things. I forgot to put it in the article, but I remember it. It's called it's called vulva or something like that. But it has something to do with the female lady parts, right? That they would take during this time too. They would take and cut the external parts of a woman off. That whole front part. You know what I'm saying? And then to go even further, this is how you know they really sadistic and they crazy as hell. They would take that and wear it as hats. They'll put it on their hats. They like pin it to their hats. The woman's vagina on their head and wear it for a hat. Well, on their hat. You know what I'm saying? That is crazy. That is a mental ill. Nah, that ain't even a mental illness. You just a beast. You are a monster, man. Like you are Chucky times 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. You know, that is the white man. That is who we are living up underneath today in America. So if you want to know why they doing what they doing today, go back into history. And you'll see that's how they have always been. Then maybe you can start getting some of that brainwashing off of you. If you go back and just check, you want to know about the people, go check their history. Go see what they was like. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll see why blacks and Hispanics getting shot down and murdered in the streets, while they got the Hispanic brothers and sisters down there on the border in cages. You know what I'm saying? Like Commander General YAHANNA was bringing out too. Like all of this is just set up like Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? The ghettos, all of that came from Hitler. You know what I'm saying? They had ghettos too. Just the term itself is derived from Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? Time is just repeating itself over and over, just in a different age. They ain't stopped. They steady doing the same thing. The problem is they have just got the Lord's people fooled, except for that remnant. You know what I'm saying? That's in this school. But anyway, you keep going, Sir Salaki.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus.
Right.
Out of the Apocrypha, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Right, because that's what the tribe of Gad did. You know what I'm saying? And that's also what we have done, what we are continuing to do today. You know what I'm saying? We are continuing to trust our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Every year, every 8 years, we always assume that this is going to be the president. That we thought it was with Bush, we thought it was with Obama, and we thought it was with Trump. Even though everybody didn't, no black people voted for it. They kind of seen that coming. You know what I'm saying? But still. They thought it was with Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Every president that we done had, we done put our faith in, and what have they done? Nothing. Not a damn thing for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, but cause even more suffering. You know what I'm saying? Never trust your enemy. That's not talking about the brother that's in your hood that you got to see every single day, that you know his parents. They know your parents. You know what I'm saying? That's not talking about him. That's the ones you need to be linking up with. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to move to the suburbs amongst the enemy. Never trust your enemy. But why? Because he going to give you the business every single time. You're going to fall for it every time, and it's going to end in your death every single time. As long as you continue to trust in him. Keep going. Put your faith in the Lord, man. That's who you should be putting it in.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. What does that mean? Go ahead, sir.
You know, over time, rust spreads and it gets worse.
Exactly right. You know what I'm saying? Like rust on a pipe. Rust don't immediately begin to build up on a pipe. It happens over time. So as you begin to see this dude, you might right now. Bobby at work might be cool. Just give it some time. You'll start seeing that rust build up on him.
Right.
And you'll start hearing him calling you nigga and all of that too. Just go and piss him off. Just give it time. The white man is going to always show you who he truly is. Just like rust is on the pipe. Just like one day rust gonna be on that brand new pipe, you can expect the white man and his wickedness and his wrath to come upon you if you sleeping. But if you watching, like the Lord said, then you'll be taking those precautions too. Slack it, sir.
We'll go to 13.
That was it?
God.
That was Slack it, so we can get back to the article then. Because it's going to be pretty quick after this, though, because the way it was printed, the words are just big.
Such inhumanities and barbarisms were committed in my sight, he says, as no age can parallel.
Right, meaning the things that he saw, to him, nothing was going to be able to come and top the atrocities and the murder and the things that he was witnessing with his 2 eyes. In his mind, he's like, man, I don't think this is the worst thing I've ever seen and probably would have ever come. He just didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? That it was something coming worse. But what he was witnessing right now, to him, this is the worst thing that anybody could ever do to another people. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
The Spanish cut off the legs of children who ran from them.
You hear what I'm saying? Trying to get away, getting shot 7 times in your back, or getting shot in the back, fleeing, not attacking, not defending yourself. You running away and get shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? Just like these young Ephraimite kids here. You know what I'm saying? These children here running away, trying to flee, scared, and what they do, they cut their legs off, man. Like, this is the Thanksgiving that he's giving our people. This is all the Thanksgiving that he's giving.
They poured people full of boiling soap.
I don't even know what that would look like. Boiling soap. I guess you heat it up, sir, to the point that it's boiling, and then it just pour it on them, and I don't even know if that's some quick dry stuff, what you turn into wax or something.
Yeah, it stick on you. Pretty
Oh,
much
my goodness.
Like that.
That's like tarring and feathering in slavery.
Right.
That's like throwing hot tar on you. Hot soap.
They made bets as to who, with one sweep of his sword, could cut a person in half.
Wow. You hear that? They betting on who can kill you in one stroke. Who got a test of strength? Take this sister here, and who can swipe through her in one go? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Who thinks like that? The white man does. The devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told you have to be a monster. You talk about humanity or compassion, you have to be first human to even have those type of traits. The white man is an inhuman being. You know what I'm saying? He has no compassion. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to kill him, instead of just making it quick to have some type of honor about yourself, you would rather sit up and make bets who can finish him off in one stroke. No sweat. No sweat. No sweat.
They loosed dogs that devoured an Indian like a hog at first sight in less than a moment. They used nursing infants for dog food.
Your babies. Use them as dog food. Throwing them just like you would throw that just like you're gonna throw that big turkey leg to your dog. Salakia. Just like you're gonna throw that big turkey leg to your dog this Thanksgiving, that's the same way they was throwing your babies to them dogs back then on these islands. You know what I'm saying? Just no different than how they was down in Florida taking your babies from you at night, locking them in cages, then going down, chiming the water to call the alligators, taking your baby, putting ropes around them and throwing them and using them as alligator bait to catch alligators. You know what I'm saying? So when you throwing that turkey or them bones or them leftovers to your dog, just remember that happened to your ancestors long ago. That happened to your family members long ago. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir. It's like you.
This was not occasional violence.
This was all the time.
It was a systematic, prolonged campaign of brutality and sadism. a policy of torture, mass murder, slavery, and forced labor that continued for centuries.
Exactly. Today, right now, in 2020, this is still going on. They just got different tactics today. You know what I'm saying? They just using different tactics. They got guns and they got the prison systems, you know what I'm saying, where they killing you in there, if you even make it there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The destruction of the Indians of the Americas was far and away the most massive act of genocide in the history of the world, writes
Right.
historian David E. Stannard.
In the history of the world, this is what this white man said. This is there's nothing that can one up this right here. You know what I'm saying? These two Holocausts, man. The North American Indian Holocaust and ours. Who gives a damn about 6 million white folks? That's white on white business. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can give a damn about Africa. If other Africans is chopping other Africans' arms off, that's them. That's between them and them. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Sir Salakia.
And Salakia, what's crazy about it is they want us to forget, 400 plus years of our slavery, but they want to remember they 4 years of torture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? During that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly right. They want you to remember 9/11. They tell you to forget slavery, forget all the heinous things that they have done against you, all the murder, just the diabolical, just demonic things that they have done towards you. You know what I'm saying? But they tell you to forget about those things, but remember 9/11. Since 9/11, they celebrate 9/11 every year now. That's why we wear them never forget shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Remember the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo. You know what I'm saying? Remember the Battle of Guadalupe. Remember Standing Creek. I got them all listed right here. You know what I'm saying? The slaughter of Shoshone, Blackfeet. You know what I'm saying? Remember those. Remember those when you eating that turkey, man. Remember them brothers fighting like hell. You know what I'm saying? Than to surrender, man. You know what I'm saying? Than to live a beggar's life. They would rather die. Remember them brothers fighting like hell to protect their loved ones, man. Honor them. Instead of going hit that voting poll, go and hit them voting polls and stuff. Remember your brothers and sisters, man. Remember them sisters that was being experimented, the OBYGN, right? Just the sidebar. Remember them sisters that was getting experimented on without anesthesia to where they cries could quiet the whole plantation. Remember them. Who gives a damn about 9/11? I wonder if you could put that on the shirt. Who gives a damn about 9/11? I don't know. As soon as we get approved, I got to talk to Officer Habana on that one, though. You know what I'm saying? Salaki, sir. Keep going.
Eventually, more than 100 million natives fell under European rule.
100 million. 100 million. So as Commander Junior Yohanna and Salaki and General Muhammad has taught us, 99 million of us died. You know what I'm saying? These are facts, man. This is not something we just making up. Like, that's your people. Like you should feel that. That should hit you somewhere in your nervous system. You know what I'm saying? If you got any type of love for your people, whether they gone or not, just remember what great-great-great-grandmama had and daddy had to go through. You know what I'm saying? What would they say if they could see you now? Don't shame them, man. Don't eat that turkey. Don't shame your people like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know you will, but damn, don't shame them. Don't shame them. Keep going, sir. Salaki.
To make a long story short, Salaki, their extermination would follow. As the natives died out, they were replaced by slaves brought from Africa.
Right. Salaki, sir, with that, can I get Deuteronomy 28, 6-8? This is where it starts incorporating ours. It don't actually go into ours, but I'm going to pull it anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because this is at that point in this article where they have they have tortured and killed and planned so well with the Taino Indians, with the so-called Puerto Ricans, who are the Ephraimites or Aparium in the Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, to where now they need to go, they done got an itch for it. It's in their system now. Now they trying to figure out where else can they go and conquer and what else can they do to people. So like, sir, you can go ahead and read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
This is the transatlantic slave trade right here.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships. That's in there. You know what I'm saying? And we are the only people that was moved on this planet Earth as a whole entire nation. Forget people that was coming over here like Officer Rom had brought out some few Thursdays back where you remember what you was saying about the Irish Colonel McCon. So remember that? You know what I'm saying? How they just came, but they came over as what you was saying, servants?
Indentured servants. They came over here willingly. Like, you know, they migrated. You know what I'm saying? They hopped on the boat they self.
Right.
They didn't get drug out their homes or, you know what I'm saying, children separated from them. They migrated. They got on. It's pretty much like how, you know what I'm saying, in Houston, like if you want work, you know what I'm saying, and you know, day work or something, like you'll go to the ship channel and just wait.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, to see if they got some day jobs, or, you know what I'm saying, or how some people travel to different cities to see if they got day work. That's what they were doing.
Right.
And they just took a risk on coming across the sea. You know what I'm saying? But they were able to go home after they finished their job.
Right. Hey, clap it up for that brother, man. Get that brother a hand, man. Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's so heavy. Because that wasn't us. That wasn't us at all. You know what I'm saying? They got to leave after their contract was up if they wanted to.
Right.
We didn't. We came over forcibly. You know what I'm saying? And we was the only one at the tutelage of 99 million strong coming over here. That's a whole nation being moved of people by another people. You know what I'm saying? So when he say when we were going to Egypt again, you know what I'm saying? Egypt, that's just the Latin word for bondage.
Right.
You go look that up in the Latin. You know what I'm saying? It just means, and you can read it like that. And we shall and ye shall go into bondage again with ships. Same thing. They just when they started putting, you know, new words to the new maps and stuff that they was coming up with, they looked at Egypt and what could be for what could be represented for Egypt, which was bondage, and they just called it Egypt. You know what I'm saying? But we know in here that Egypt biblical name is Mizraim. You know what I'm saying? So, but they named it Egypt for what it was known for, and that was when we was enslaved under Pharaoh. Keep going, sir. And spiritually, Salakia, if I may, and spiritually, this in America that we walked out of Egypt the first time. Right. You know what I'm saying? We walked out of Egypt. And where we was at on that side of the earth, you could walk right back in it. Why is it saying you're going to go this time to Egypt in ships? We never left that side of the earth. We walked out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a prophecy saying that we're going to go back into spiritual Egypt again. And that's why you got Lincoln Monument. He's sitting up like Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? You got pyramids on the back of your dollar bills. You got the obelisk. If Moses was here today and he was downtown Washington and he seen the Washington Monument, he'd be like, man, we got those in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? The spirit of this place is Egypt because this is the land of our captivity. We still in our captivity right now to this day. Even though you can drive a Benz, even though, you know what I'm saying, you can work and you got money in your pocket and things like that, as far as classism goes, you are still in captivity today. Salakia, sir. Just wanted to bring that up.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Meaning how I'm telling you, like on this side of the earth, as I'm speaking to you right now, how you see how I'm speaking to you and delivering you this right now, on this side of the earth, you shall see it no more again, meaning this land. And we haven't. And we haven't. Ever since Moses said that, we haven't. You can go to Israel right now, but you don't control it. It's someone else in control of it. It's someone else that's governing it. It's not your land. So you can go visit, but it is not the same as it being your land still. Keep going, sir. Salakia.
Come. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Meaning this new place you're going to be sold unto your enemies. Who was the Gadites' enemies? The white man. Who is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian enemies? The white man. You get what I'm saying? In this land, that is North America, that is controlled by the white man, that is your enemy. That is your true enemy. You know what I'm saying? And in the land of your enemies, you was gonna be sold for slave men and slave women. That was Christopher Columbus' objective. That was his objective. That was his plan the whole entire time. It wasn't about discovering some new land and this, that, and the third. Because you can discover that if he was just on riding off of that notion alone, we wouldn't be here today. For what? If you discovering a whole new land for yourself, you know what I'm saying, then you and your people can do what you do. Y'all can build. You know what I'm saying? So, no, you know what I'm saying? So if he was really just looking for a new land to dwell in, he could have easily did that and left us alone, left the Tainos alone. You know what I'm saying? Left the Gadite brothers and sisters, the North American Indians, alone. You feel what I'm saying? All right, sir. That's it on that, right?
Where it says, and no man shall buy you.
Oh, meaning Martin Luther King won't be able to save you. Malcolm X not going to be able to save you. Farrakhan not going to be able to save you. Elijah Muhammad ain't going to be able to save you. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. No man will be able to come and buy you, save for one. And his name is Yahawashi Mashiach in the Hebrew. Right. Y'all know him as Jesus Christ. That's the only one. When that sky crack, then your salvation is near. You know, it's here. Not near, but it's here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, sir, that's all I want to bring out on that. You keep going in the article, sir, if you may.
To make a long story short, Columbus established a pattern that held for 5 centuries.
500 years to this day.
A ruthless, angry search for wealth, as Barry Lopez describes it.
That's why you know, that Willie Lynch thing, I think that came from Christopher Columbus, because there's no proof that the dude Willie Lynch, I'm pretty sure it was a white man somewhere, but there's no proof of this guy. His letters, they got that. I mean, that looked like something that a white man would write, but there's no proof of the actual dude, man, Willie Lynch, has ever been in existence. You know what I'm saying? That's just probably some cool stuff they wrote from if anybody is Willie Lynch, it's Christopher Columbus. He showed you how to incorporate that system. Even if they revised it and made it better. You know what I'm saying? But where it derives from, it doesn't derive from this person, whoever is called Willie Lynch. It derives from Christopher Columbus and the things that they was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they was doing this long before the Willie Lynch speech ever came. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, there's no proof that this dude was ever in existence. If there is, then y'all gonna have to show it to me, because I've never seen it and I've looked for it. I've just never found nothing that ever proved this dude ever existed. And he from the West Indies. Don't that sound like Christopher Columbus?
Right.
He was a slaver from the West Indies. That's all they say about him. Yeah, I guess, you know. And like I said, if y'all got the proof, you know, I'm all for it. But anyway, so it's lucky.
It set a tone in the Americas. The quest for personal possessions was to be, from the outset, a series of raids, irresponsible and criminal, a spree in which an end to it. The slaves, the timber, the pearls, the fur, the precious ores, and later, arable land, coal, oil, and iron ore. Right. was never visible, in which an end to it had no meaning.
Meaning, they had that's what his agenda was, to rob and pillage everything. You know what I'm saying? He wanted all. And we all know that what does Puerto Rico stand for? Or what, you know what I'm saying? Rich port. Rich port. Why is that title on the Puerto Ricans? That's not a nationality. A person can't be a rich port, but why is it a rich port? Because the islands of Hispaniola and all that, from what I read in the Taino massacre, that man, they had rubies on. You can walk the shores of the beach and just pick up rubies. You know what I'm saying? Off the ground, diamonds off the ground. You know what I'm saying? They was a rich port. the oil over there, and like that's why they was trying to seize Panama, because Panama is rich in oil and all that good stuff, gold and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he was chasing after. He seen the riches of that land, and these people had to go. He cared about his wealth, as you see today. He cared more about his wealth than he does of people. You know what I'm saying? He'll blackmail his own people for the dollar, right, for the prices right. You know what I'm saying? It's like it, sir.
Right. There was no real ending to the conquest of Latin America. It continued in remote forests and on far mountainsides. It is still going on in our day when miners and ranchers invade land belonging to the Amazon Indians, and armed thugs occupy Indian villages in the backwoods of Central America.
Right. Now they hiring people to do the same thing that they've been doing. Like that's what the CIA does too, you know what I'm saying? And so they won't get their hands dirty. You know what I mean? Watch, you keep going, sir. It's like you.
In the 1980s,
sir, they call that guerrilla warfare. Meaning it's all going on. It's going on, but it's just not being put in public view. They ain't on the news with it 24/7. This is that guerrilla, that's that undercover stuff. It's like it, sir.
In the 1980s, under Presidents Ronald Reagan and George Bush, the U.S. government knowingly gave direct aid to genocidal campaigns that murdered tens of thousands of Mayan Indian people in Guatemala, El Salvador, and elsewhere.
You see what I'm saying? Through the CIA and all that, they just like the white man is the devil. He'll fund weapons. He'll give the people weapons that he going to war with. You know what I'm saying? He's that thirsty for death and carnage. He'll fund the people that he getting ready to go to war with, right, or he'll fund the people that's going to war with his enemies. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like Saudi Arabia and all of them with the Taliban and all of them. He was funding the Taliban. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why Bin Laden was going chill at the White House and all that type of stuff there. You know what I'm saying? The white man is cunning, man. You know, that's why he's a cunning beast of the field, man.
The English-American genocide.
Right.
Unfortunately, Columbus and the Spaniards were not unique. They conquered Mexico and what is now southwestern U.S., with forays into Florida, the Carolinas, even into Virginia. From Virginia northward, the land had been taken by the English, who, if anything, had even less tolerance for the indigenous people. As Hans Koenig says, from the beginning, the Spaniards saw the Native Americans as natural slaves,
right,
beasts of burden, part
right,
of the loot.
Right. You see what I'm saying? You see how they viewed the natives when they first saw them. It wasn't no, even though they might have shook their hands, but what was in their mind. Hold on, Slocky. So which one? Matter of fact, with that being said, can I get Psalms 55 and 21, sir? This is what they saw when they saw that.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Was smooth as butter, you know what I'm saying? Like he came saying all the right things.
But war was in his heart.
So, and that's exactly what happened right there. You know what I'm saying? When they looked at the Native American Indians, all they saw was the loot, was being able to kill and conquer them and make slaves out of them. They are on the level of the beast of the fields. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, sir.
His words were softer than oil.
Right. Soft as oil. You know oil is soft. When it's in your hair, it make your hair soft and all this smooth. Everything about it is soft, you know. Keep going, sir.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords, taking turns to placing wagers and bets to see if they can, with one stroke, cut someone in half, cut one of your ancestors in half. That was what was in their mind. That's what they was talking about. You know what I'm saying, man? This book is accurate called the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing in this book corrupt. All of this is right. You know what I'm saying? Because this was given to you from the Lord to show you how to defend yourself, man. Even if you don't have the capability to pick up a sword, the Lord has given you the blueprint to show you how to defend yourself even in captivity. And more importantly than that, how not to go into captivity. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're dealing with your enemy, when you're dealing with the white man, he can say all the right things, but what's in his heart is war, murder, death. That's all he know. That's all he care about. He's never going to be satisfied. He's never going to be satisfied at killing. As long as there's something to kill, he's going to kill. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. So it's like you can drop. If that's it on that, you can drop that and go back to the article if you want, sir.
When working them to death was more economical than treating them somewhat humanely, they worked them to death.
They worked them to death instead of giving them a break. You know what I'm saying? Showing some, just a little bit of compassion. No bigger than this grain right here. If it's just this much compassion, give it to them. But they wouldn't even do that. They would rather just work them till they dropped and died and did not care. Just bring the next one in. That is the monster that you was dealing with in the United States of America. Every time you break bread, you are I don't want to say the word, so I'm not, but you are really on your ancestors, man. You are spitting in their face. You know what I'm saying? You are spitting directly in your ancestors' face, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how the white man this is how he saw you then, and this is how he see you now. Ain't nothing changed about him. It's the same old tactics, just different times. Keep going, Salaki, sir.
The English, on the other hand, had no use for the native peoples. They saw them as devil worshippers, savages who were beyond salvation by the church.
Man, that Christian church, man, that was the whole crusade. You know how many of your brothers and sisters that the white man killed in the name of Cedric Bourgel? Their God. You know what I'm saying? They slaughtered with that cross that you wear around your neck right there when you bow on your head and you giving thanks to Cedric Bourgel, because that's who you praying to. Because in your mind, Jesus is white. You know what I'm saying? So that's who you praying to. When you bow on your head around that table this month on a Thursday, holding hands, giving thanks, you giving thanks for the onslaught that happened to your people. Here and abroad. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, Seslaki.
And exterminating them increasingly became accepted policy.
Right. Now we got to incorporate this. This is right. This is right for us to do.
Page 14. The British arrived in Jamestown in 1607. By 1610, the international extermination of the native population was well along. And David E. Stannard has written.
Now it's going back to the Gadites. It was just giving you like the brief history on what happened with the Taino Indians. Now it's going back into the Gadites. Salaki, sir.
Hundreds of Indians were killed in skirmish after skirmish. Other hundreds were killed in successful plots of mass poisoning.
Biowarfare. You see what I'm saying? Like once you uncover the white man and his crimes, this is why we do what we do on that block. This ain't it's personal, but it ain't the color. It ain't got nothing to do with the color of their skin. You hear all these crimes that they not being brought to justice for. This is why we out there doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? Even today, they not being brought. They wasn't being brought to Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. All of them died without having any justice brought to them. Matter of fact, they got glorified for it. You know what I'm saying? No one condemns the white man. He's the one that don't go to jail. But everybody else do. Slack it, sir.
They were hunted down by dogs, bloodhounds to draw after them, and mastiffs to seize them.
They being hunted by a mastiff is like a big Saint Bernard. It's a Saint Bernard dog. You know the movie Beethoven? Yeah, it's a big Saint Bernard dog. So you got these dogs, and if you know anything about like golden retrievers and stuff like that, they are good tracking dogs. Like they just like hound dogs. They can track you anywhere. They catch your scent, they can track you down. You know what I'm saying? It's like it, sir.
Their canoes and fishing wires were smashed.
Like, yeah, the fishing wires, that's like a fishing dam. Like they built a dam to trap most of the fish in and stuff. So they came in and smashed all that, everything. Like almost creating like a dam, like a little pond area where fish would go in and get trapped and make it easier to catch fish. You know what I'm saying? So they came in, smashed that down.
Their villages and agricultural fields burned to the ground.
Burned their crops. All their farmland burnt to the ground. This is the white man.
Indian peace offers were accepted by the English only until their prisoners were returned. Then, having lulled the natives into false security, the colonists returned to the attack.
The white man broke over 180 peace treaties with the Gadite brothers and sisters, man, that they made. Every single peace treaty that they ever had, they broke it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they shook hands and said, yeah, okay, it's cool now, whatever. Return our men back to us. These are the terms. Return our men back to us and we'll stop and everything like that. And as soon as they prisoners came back to them and was released and back to safety, they finished the onslaught. Like, that's the white man. That's why we call him the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he is the devil on the earth. He's the number one deceiver on the planet. You know what I'm saying? It's like it, sir.
It was the colonists' expressed desire that the Indians be exterminated, rooted out from being longer a people upon the face of the earth.
That's why all white people are bad. I don't care. Any white man that say, man, hey man, I ain't got no problem with black people and nothing like that. I try to hold it in, but sometimes I go out and you a liar, man. You a liar. Like, stop saying that. Especially if you know how many black friends you got. Stop saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like man, I'd rather you just tell me how you really feel, and I can respect that. If you don't care for me and nothing like that, I can respect you telling me that. At least we know where each other stand. But all that lying and, trying to, manipulate somebody or whatever, try to trick somebody into believe, nah, man, just keep it real. So when I hear that, I just shake my head like, nah, look at the craftiness that this devil is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep going, sir. But that's what they are, man.
In a single raid, the settler destroyed corn sufficient to feed 4,000 people for a year.
Food that could have fed 4,000 people for the year. So that's how you can kill 4,000 people off too. You know what I'm saying? You just killed the whole crops. They whole harvest is gone, man. You know what I'm saying?
Starvation and the massacre of non-combatants was becoming the preferred British approach to dealing with the natives.
They took the gloves off. They exposed their shame and didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we doing this. We don't care who see it, who write about it, whatever. Well, they didn't have to, because all of them on board. He just read it not too long ago. The whole colony was in favor of slaughtering the North American Indians, the Gadites. You know what I'm saying? The whole colony. So when you see all of these Trump supporters, that's the ones you see. The ones you see out there in the streets wreaking havoc, that's the ones you see. Just remember, it's millions behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Those the ones you don't see. That's the white America that you need to be worried about too. Those are just the ones that's brave enough to say, I don't like niggas or spics. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that you work with every day that feel just the same but would rather just, hey, how you doing? Yeah. It's tactics. It's warfare. Sometimes it ain't physical. Sometimes this warfare is spiritual, Like Paul said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, man. You know what I'm saying? Our warfare is not carnal. Sometimes it's on the spiritual nature, you know what I'm saying? And you need to know who your enemy is spiritually. You know what I'm saying?
In Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Jersey, extermination was officially promoted by a scalp bounty on dead Indians.
So as they killed our brothers and sisters, they scalped them to prove the numbers. That's how they check the numbers. That's almost like keeping record. I mean, I believe our Gadite brothers and sisters, we just did it because that's just the warrior in it. You know, that's almost like a trophy. I believe that they was keeping numbers. That's how they keep count of the population of what's going. You know what I'm saying? According to that, I mean, well, how you gonna turn around and do the same thing with what they doing to you? And we know that them Apaches, they known for scalping. You know what I'm saying? Them Shawnees, they known for scalping. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? All that. So, you know what I'm saying? I think they was keeping record. You know, don't take my word for it all the way, because that's just my thoughts. I just think that they in return was scalping the Gadite brothers and sisters just to keep record.
Indeed, in many areas, murdering Indians became an outright business, writes historian Ward Churchill.
Right. You know Churchill is, you know what I'm saying? And that it just became a business. They figured some kind of way to capitalize on the Gadites, just like they figured out a way to capitalize on the blacks in America. How can they keep getting rich off of us? That's why when you go into the ghetto right now, you got Chinese people selling you chicken. They're getting rich off of us. Right. You know what I'm saying? You go get your hair done. If you don't know a sister, it's Africans. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is getting rich and robbing you right now. No different than our Gadite brothers. And y'all say that they ain't the 12 tribes? They ain't part of the 12 tribes? Please, man, get out of here. Just say you love Africans and just be done with it. I can accept that. You know? It's like you.
Indians were defined as subhumans, lower than animals. George Washington compared them to wolves, beasts of prey, and called for their total destruction.
The number one president, the most famous president of United States history, just got finished saying that he compared the Gadite brothers and sisters to wolves, to beasts of prey, something to be, to go hunt down. You know what I'm saying? And called for their total destruction. You know what I'm saying? With that, can I get Sir Salakia Lamentations 4:18, please? Because that was perfect just to bring that part out, man. This is what they do. Like, call for their total destruction. And this is what they do, man. They go out, and this is what they do when they murder us.
This is Book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 18.
Go ahead.
They hunt our steps.
They what?
They hunt our steps.
That's exactly what they was doing to the Gadite brothers and sisters, to the children that was trying to want to run away, hunting them down, using St. Bernards and bloodhounds. They hunt out. That's the same way they do it today when they sicking them canines on you out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They got them canines ripping your arms and legs off and taking off chunks of flesh at a time. They hunt our steps, man, and everything that they do, they are trying to devise a way to destroy us even further. Keep going.
That we cannot go in our streets.
We can't even go in the streets. Can you imagine back then? You know what I'm saying? To be trying to get to your destination or your people or whatever, and you get this cavalry roll up on you. You know what I'm saying? But they at this time with they swords drawn and they Winchesters pulled. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine that? No different than the police when they hit that whoop whoop, and you know, and that something happens to you and you feel it in your chest.
Your whole body.
And that sweat start rolling down your armpit. It's Salakia. But right, what you saying, sir?
I said your whole body seizes up.
Your whole body seizes up, man. You just, oh Lord, what I'm gonna do? Please, Lord, don't let this. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That part.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that end is going to come, and our days will be fulfilled as soon as Christ returns to deal with all this. Salaki, so you can go back to the... All
right,
you had something, sir?
Yeah, Salaki, if I may, you know what I'm saying? Like, how they call, back then when they call them subhumans, you know what I'm saying? Like, they call us super predators now. They call us savages. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know what I'm saying? Like, George Washington called called our people wolves. You know that white people don't care about killing animals because they go to every other country. Well, they don't go to China and kill no panda bears because China ain't having that. But then you see white men getting drove by Africans on jeeps shooting elephants just for game.
Just for game.
You know what I'm saying? Just for elephant tusk, for ivory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we're lower than an animal, so they don't give a damn about killing us.
Right, and that's still in the Salaki, sir, if I may, that's still in the Constitution that's still in there to this day. We are 3/5 of the beast of the field. You know what I'm saying? So that subhuman part, that was written into the United States Constitution about us. We was on the level of beast. So this can't be lying. That's still in the Constitution to this day.
Right.
Salaki, sir.
This is a quote from Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, whose innocent-looking portrait appears on a U.S. $20 bill today in 1814, supervised the mutilation of 800 or more Creek Indian corpses, the bodies of men and women and children that his troops had massacred.
Right.
Cutting off their noses to count and preserve a record of the dead.
See what I'm saying? They used human body parts to keep records. So when it get back to that scalping, I was damn near right. Even though it didn't say it for that purpose, but I was damn near right. You know what I'm saying? They cut the noses off just to preserve how many bodies they slaughtered and mutilated and buried, if they even buried them. You know what I'm saying? But you think they would so disease won't set in and stuff, but however they all burned or whatever they did. Salaki, so you keep going. We almost finished.
Slicing long strips of flesh from their bodies to tan and turn it to bridle reins.
Right. Salaki, so you can skip through the little small stuff. We can go back to the big stuff.
We must act with vindictive earnestness against the Lakotas, known to the whites as the Sioux.
Right, and they still dealing with the Sioux today. They still got art with them for no reason. Like they still messing with the Sioux tribes to this day. They was messing with them back then. They still messing with them today. It's like they just got it out for the Sioux tribes for some reason. You know what I'm saying? So you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion. The Sioux tribe probably gave them the most hell. They, you know what I'm saying? Because like every tribe didn't just die down easy like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
we had the tribe of Reuben shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So they just didn't lay down that easy. So the Sioux Indians, may have gave them the most hell.
Probably did. Probably was giving them boys the business, and to this day they still butt hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They still feeling some type of way. They still in their feelings, so they still got to go mess with our brothers up there in North Dakota and South Dakota. You know what I'm saying?
Even to their extermination, men, women, and children.
Right.
In 1891, Frank L. Baum, gentle author of The Wizard of Oz, wrote in the Aberdeen Saturday Pioneer, which is Kansas, that the Army should finish the job by the total annihilation of the few remaining Indians.
Meaning this dude writing, the dude that wrote The Wizard of Oz said that they should have finished the job. They should have wiped them all out. Even that little small little remnant that is still here to this day. He said they should have just wiped them all out. They should have finished the job and just wiped them all out of existence. That's how the white man feel about you, black man, black woman.
The U.S. did not follow through on Baum's macabre demand, for there really was no need. By then, the native population had been reduced to 2.5% of its original numbers, and 97.5% of the aboriginal land base had been expropriated and renamed the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Right. Right. See, that's where that came from. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of,
that's
man.
Right.
For real. I told you I'm gonna say it all night, man.
Right.
I'm gonna say it all night. Cause this hitting home for me. And I my grandmother was a Gadite, so this hit home for me a little bit.
Right.
You know. But that's in that home of the slave, all of that. Even when you go into the national the Star Spangled Banner, there's a whole nother verse that was taken out that where he was saying in the song and that you should commending slavery, basically commending it. Yeah, I forgot. Is the Alice Keys something? Sir, you familiar with that?
The Francis Scott Key.
Francis Scott Key, right? That whole third verse. Go look that up on YouTube when you get a chance. You know what I'm saying? When you got your children in school pledging allegiance and everything to that flag, and see how many of your brothers and sisters been murdered and still being murdered up under that flag today.
Hundreds upon hundreds of native tribes with unique languages, learning customs, and cultures had simply been erased from the face of the earth, most often without even the pretense of justice or law. Today we can see the remnant cultural arrogance of Christopher Columbus and Captain John Smith shadowed in the coat of the global free market, which aims to eradicate indigenous cultures and traditions worldwide, to force all peoples to adopt the ways of the U.S.
Right.
Today's globalist free trade is merely yesterday's manifest destiny writ large.
Right. Christopher Columbus' spirit is still alive and strong today. That spirit is still in the hearts of all white America. You know what I'm saying? That's why they done built monuments to him and schools after him, universities after him. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no telling what they teaching. They probably teaching the real truth about Christopher Columbus in them secret fraternities and stuff. You know what I mean? Them children, they learning how to deal with us. They don't have to do they probably got a whole courses. That's why everybody can't get in it, especially if you Black, Hispanic, or Native American. You know what I'm saying? But ain't no telling what's going on. They ain't just talking about, they talking about being captains of industries and stuff like that, but they also being taught how to do it and who to use to get to that point, which is the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying?
But as Barry Lopez says, this violent corruption needn't define us. We can say, yes, this happened, and we are ashamed. We repudiate the greed. We recognize and condemn the evil, and we see how the harm has been perpetuated. But 500 years later, we intend to mean something else in the world. That's
just wishful thinking right there.
Right. If we choose, we could set limits on ourselves for once. We could declare enough is enough.
Yeah, okay.
You want me to read this?
Right, so you can start from General Phillips.
Okay. General Philip H. Sheridan was the commander of the United States forces. He had plans of exterminating the buffalo. He thought this would kill the plains Indians. Kill the buffalo and you kill the Indians, he said.
You see what I'm saying? Kill the buffalo. Do you wonder why there ain't no more Cape Buffalo in the earth right now? Or you want to know why them numbers is so low you can't even talk about it? Because of this dude right here, General Philip H. Sheridan. You know what I'm saying? And why would you kill off the buffalo? Why would you kill off the buffaloes? Salaki, sir.
Because you would kill a food off.
You would kill a food source. You got to think about it. They used buffalo hide for warmth, for make coats and blankets and clothing out of. You know what I'm saying? They use that for the house to make their tents and their huts. They use that skin for that and probably loads of other things. You kill and wipe out the buffalo, you wipe out their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You wipe, like, man, you got to be devious to even think of something like you got to have a demon on you of high rank to even think of something like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to the Cape Buffalo.
God. David Stannard, in his Scholarly American Holocaust, 1992, page 232, writes, from the earliest days of settlement, British men in the colonies from the Carolinas to New England rarely engaged in sexual relations with the Indians. Even during those times when there were few, if any, English women available. Such encounters were viewed as a horrid crime, and legislation was passed that banished forever.
I think that's a lie, though. You know what I'm saying? Because look at all the raping they did to blacks in slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing the white man is known for, his murder and his raping. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to go and start talking about, well, I mean, if you go into slavery, it was against the law for at one point in time for a black man to even marry a white woman. You know what I'm saying? But look at what was going on in slavery, though. They you know, you could be married, and if the master want to come and take your woman, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? And she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. She would rather slit her wrist or her throat and die before she go to him. And now, Salakia, you know, black women go freely now. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, I give them a pass because I also saw that the sisters be the main ones that won't go to the white man. But the brothers, I just have to put this on us for a minute. We will go get a white girl quick. Like the sisters kind of hold their ground. I ain't saying that they don't. We both off, but I read that. You know what I'm saying? That the sisters actually hold they ground a little bit when it comes to this interracial dating. Yeah, I ain't saying you won't see them. I ain't saying it ain't there, but it's there larger on the brothers' part. I don't know if we want some get back. You know how they used to say, well, they slept with our when they, you know what I'm saying? We gonna go get, you know what I mean? But that don't even fit the thing, no. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that's false. You know what I'm saying? I believe that they was raping them Gadite sisters and sisters just as much as they was raping the sisters in slavery. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do when you want to dilute a race in their minds. That strength that we had about us. You know what I'm saying? The way you could work us all day, and for some reason we not getting weaker, but we getting stronger. You working us all day, and all of a sudden this dude is getting solid. He getting big and strong. They looking at that like, we got to stop. What is that? What is that? And they and the son, this dude done went from a little pudge to a six-pack, solid. And how much do we got to work them? They getting, okay, let's, you know, what they call that? And yeah, incorporate ourselves into them. Let's try to dilute that so they don't be, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? So they won't be as strong. That's how the white man, he thinks. So when I read that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that is all the way accurate. But at the part about it being wrong to sleep, nah, I doubt that. Not the white man. He's the beast. He don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like it, sir.
Such mixed race couples, referring to their offspring in animalistic terms. The estimates of the number of victims of the American Holocaust differ. However, these differences show remarkable similarity with the controversy surrounding the Holocaust deniers who do not deny that Holocaust occurred, but try to diminish its extent. Thus, right. For instance, R.J. Rummel, in his 1994 book, Death by the Government, estimates the number of victims of the centuries of European colonization as low as 2 million.
You know what I'm saying? Sir, for real. You know, they live 2 million compared to 120 from the 1500s to the 1800s. And counting, if you add all the way up to 2020. So like it, sir.
Hitler's concept of concentration camps, as well as the practicality of genocide, owed much, so he claimed, to his studies of English and United States history.
You see what I'm saying? He was successful in that fake Jew Holocaust with 6 million off of studying how the Europeans and the Spaniards did the indigenous people of this land, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, the 10 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The Gadites and the Reubenites. You know what I'm saying? And the Ephraimites. You know what I'm saying? Through this whole thing, that he studied that, and it worked so well. He was in Europe and created a whole system off of that. He studied the game. You know what I'm saying? Holocaust 101. You know what I'm saying? And was sufficient at it. He was so sufficient at it that his own people had to step in. You know what I'm saying? And stop him. That's how good he got at it, learning off of prior history to what was done to our brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, that's lucky.
God. He admired the camps for Boer prisoners in South Africa and for the Indians in the Wild West.
Right. And just like they admire Donald Trump for them FEMA camps down in on the Mexico border. You know what I'm saying? The same way they admire Donald Trump for having them FEMA camps down there, separating children from their parents. That's the same way that this devil was admiring his people for how successful they was with the Gadites and the Reubenites and the onslaught and slaughtering and murdering and killing of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I'm saying?
And often praised to his inner circle the efficiency of America's extermination by starvation and uneven combat of the red savages who could not be tamed by captivity.
Right. I'm going to get my last scripture, which is Habakkuk 2:12. And that's how he did it. He gave praise to the way they was starving them, our brothers and sisters, the way that they was poisoning our brothers and sisters, the way they was castrating our brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? The way that they was hanging our brothers and sisters, taking our children and chopping them up or doing whatever they was doing, using them as dog food and alligator bait. You know what I'm saying? And the white man gonna have to pay for all of this, man. So you can break that turkey open on Thanksgiving if you want to. You know what I'm saying? And eat and indulge blindly. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not trying to seek no knowledge, man. But it's here and it's out there, man. It's time to wake up, man. Salaki, sir.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
The Lord said, woe to him that builded a town with blood. The Lord said, death or destruction to the people or the person that builds a town off of blood. And the white man, right now, we are walking on the bones of the North American Indians. You start digging up dirt right now, I guarantee you'll find some of our Gadite brothers and sisters' bones over here in this land, man. You know what I'm saying? He built a whole entire system off of our brothers, man. Off of our sisters. Off of all the murderous and horrendous crimes that they have done against us, man. The Lord said, woe, the Lord said death to him. And his destruction is soon to come, man. You know what I'm saying? You best believe it, man. That sky gonna crack, man. And the Lord gonna come deal with this bastard because ain't nobody else gonna do it if not the Lord. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, woe to him that built all this murder, man. 120 million, 99 million blacks, you know what I'm saying? 25 million Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Salakia, the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? In the battle of Guatemala and the Alamo, you know what I'm saying? Salakia, sir.
And establisheth a city by iniquity.
Right, you look at Houston, you look at New York, you look at all these cities, L.A., Detroit, all these cities, man, that's on this earth, man, was established off of the blood of the 12 tribes of Israel, man, the Lord's people. You know what I'm saying? That's it?
God, unless you want me to go to 13.
Oh, no, Salaki, sir, that's it. And with that, man, that concludes Thursday night scripture breakdown class, and I'm going to pass the class to Officer Ram Yahawada.
We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started on the 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves at the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, Mayasharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Dedication, which is Hanukkah, the 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days, which is Wednesday, December 9th, 2020, for 8 days, out of the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And those are the security announcements. Also, we got one more announcement. Brothers and sisters, Google search the school and request directions prior to departure to school. Once arrived, click the website button. If you have pictures, you can upload them there. And that concludes all the announcements. Majim, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabbarakatah.
Yazamatai, Saul, face the sisters. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Atah Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah.
Yazamatai, dismissed. Please hold our tongue until we